Good day, everyone. Since I don't know when I'm going to post it, I'm just going to say good day because sometimes I have content that I have, waiting to be posted. But I'm taking this opportunity right now to talk about a few things. I wanted to talk about shadow because we all have one. And when we're doing light work, very often as light workers, we concentrate on the light. And there are many, many fantastic, fabulous people that you can work with who activate light codes and who can help you usher out old dense energy and also, activate your light body. And that is what we want to be doing. But very often, what I'm finding a lot of lately is that people are like, oh no, we don't want to think about shadow. Don't think about shadow. Don't talk about shadow. And you know what? That's exactly what shadow wants. Shadow doesn't want you to see it. Why do you think they call it hiding in the shadows? Because shadow likes to hide. It is very insidious. And when you're doing light work, you're also doing shadow work. And you need to do both of those simultaneously because your shadow self is going to trick your ego into old patterns. It's going to try to get you to see things in ways that it doesn't. It's going to get you to misinterpret things. It's going to get you to make assumptions about stuff because shadow is sneaky. So I want to give a little example from my own life that just happened not too long ago because I've been working within a group and we've had a lot of light activations. And here's what my shadow did one day. I was reading a message that a dear friend, that I know that if I had an issue, they would come to me, they would talk to me. It's not even a question that they wouldn't be direct with me. But I was reading their message, and at the very end, okay, and this was a physical thing, was that I read the last line, and just before I was reading the last line of the text, I felt this like shadow kind of flicker across my eyes, and it changed the way I saw the words in the text. And it changed them around, which completely changed the meaning of what she had originally said. And when I read it, I went, oh my gosh, that's what this person thinks. That's what they're really like. I don't understand. And my mind started to go and I stopped myself and went, whoa, wait a second. What was that sensation that happened? What was that little shadow that kind of flickered across my vision? I went, okay. So what I did was I calmed myself down, took a deep breath, recentered, and I read it again. And I started to cry because I realized what my shadow had done. My shadow had caused me to misinterpret a message that someone had sent to me. And when I read it again and I read what it actually said, completely different, changed everything. And so I went, wow. And I started to cry and I went, holy crap. Because that shadow, what it did, it triggered my ego then go, oh my gosh, do I have to defend myself? Do I have to do this? Why would this person say, it started to go. And this is what people need to understand about light work is that it isn't just about light. It's also about dealing with your shadow because your shadow wants to trigger all of your ego programmings. And whether or not you want to think you have an ego, everyone does, and everyone also has a shadow. And you have to look at the shadow and what the shadow is going to do. As a clairvoyant, not only do I see people coming in or beings coming in that want to talk to other people or talk to me, I can also see shadows, whether they're entities attached to people or to the land or in my own shadow. And so in dealing with my own shadow, I'm able to see and sense other people's. And other people, it's very difficult for them to even sense their own shadow and what their own shadow might be doing to them. So the next time you get triggered, if you think someone is being disrespectful, or you think that, once again, I am attracting this to me, take a look at what you're holding on to. Take a look at what your shadow is trying to get your ego to project outward. Because when you're holding on to things you still have dense energy to remove them from your body. It's not just about light activation. It's not just about, love and light, we have to look at the shadows sometimes. We have to be very vigilant with what the shadow is going to do, because it's very tricky. It's very, very tricky. And I'm going to do another little video on the ego and, you know, some other things about that, because I want to kind of keep this one short. But very, very vigilant about what your own shadow could be trying to do in your life to sabotage relationships, to sabotage your health, to sabotage other things, especially if you're doing light work, especially if you're doing any kind of light work where you're waking up to what's going on around you. You have to be very vigilant. I can help with that if you want, but that's one thing to keep an eye on with your own self and your own inner work.